Hey, folks.
Sup? The grumpy episode. You leave any grumpies last night?
No,
No,
nowhere. No.
no,
Yeah,
nowhere
no.
near.
No,
Me
there'll be none
neither.
of that.
Me neither. I don't.
I, yeah,
I didn't leave any
that's
grumpies
a
either.
cat
You know.
thing. Well, let me back up a little bit. I was in the middle of expressing why we're here. This day, as much as we called it, may have heard that we called it somebody else's name, that the reality is today, honor Johnny Depp and any reality is that a as much as his livelihood was still him, it should be her.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think this should become Men's Mental Abuse Awareness Day ever.
From now on.
May the turd be remembered. Well, that it strikes a blow, if you will, for the idea. Like literally, she gets away with screaming at Johnny that you couldn't tell anybody I abuse you anyways. They're never gonna believe.
Yeah, that's only something abusers say.
Yeah,
That's only something abusers say. I'm like,
there's still
there's no
questions in
line.
some
There's
people's heads
just
out there, though.
I I don't I see the line and I see where it is and I'm like that. Yep, that's what that is. Yep,
So
that right there.
I have been in relationships with crazy punches because society. We're taught stop them from hitting you more.
Right, right.
Not like, and it wasn't like you were being abused because you couldn't say it because you can't abuse him
Mm,
because you're bigger than she is. I was not actually in this
mm.
particular case, but anyways, um,
I'm usually not.
well, watching what Johnny Depp is going through, God, I love that guy.
Yeah, man.
You know, he's got a whimsy, he's got
He
a
seems like such a
silliness.
cool
Don't get me
person,
wrong.
man.
Surprisingly enough, it comes out he may use some drugs.
You know, I think a good amount of people do, and I
Well,
think a lot of good people
all
do.
I'm gonna say is we were coming out of Barstow when the drugs kicked in, and there were bats coming out of the sky. What looked like bats coming out of the
There were-
sky. That's leaving Las Vegas. That's Hunter S. Thompson. He
Okay.
goes down studying Hunter like method actor. You know, between playing Hunter S. Thompson and then playing God, Richards as a pirate.
You mean Keith Richards as a pirate?
He says
Okay.
he said
He said he said he
yes,
based it
no,
on Keith
he
Richards.
has said that
That's
character is
what's up,
based on
dude.
and they know each other.
Right.
So I mean, I guess.
I didn't even know that. I just thought
Yeah, no,
Jack
go,
Sparrow is super cool. I would watch Pirates of the Caribbean and be like, "Yo, I want to be Jack Sparrow. He's so cool, man."
well, it ends up Johnny Depp wanted to be Keith Richards
Okay.
and Hunter S. Thompson.
Uh-huh.
And what they're known for, both of them,
Uh-huh.
Hunter, now gone here, is just the amazing volume of drugs. Like the volumes.
Right.
And it seems that that was part of that relationship to some extent. But doesn't I don't even see like as I'm listening to the things going trial. What I feel for is a guy that kept trying to make it right somehow.
Mm.
I see a guy that no matter what he and I'm projecting horribly. No matter what he did, no matter how he tried, listened to what people said they wanted, gave them what they wanted, and they said, "Yeah, but
Right.
no." He gave Amber Heard everything in the world. Oh, I said her name.
Amber
Did you hear
Turd.
that? I
Her
heard it.
name is Turd now.
I don't want it to be separated.
Amber Turd.
I don't think after what's. I think that okay. I fully support the Me Too movement.
Mm-hmm.
but it's got to be everybody.
Yeah, I think so too. You can't make it
It
one
can't be a
sided.
sword that you use against men too.
Right.
Like, oh, so we act like the thing that happens where we act like do it across the board. Well, all men have it easier though.
I'm
All
I'm
white people have it easier though.
I'm really
All See what I'm saying though?
I'll
Traditionally,
say
we're constantly looking at somebody else going, "Oh, well, but he had it easy, so he can't."
I'll say this. I'm really proud of the internet for not letting this go. I'm like really proud of the internet for like not letting this fall by the wayside.
Well, okay, Reddit case already happened,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
all no,
It
no,
happened
wait,
in England, and because there weren't cameras in the
no,
courtroom, no one like we don't. They didn't talk a whole bunch about. There were some people. I saw that there were some people that were talking about the UK case, but there wasn't like a whole bunch of.
right,
It wasn't public like it is now.
and
You
abusers
know?
count on that,
Yeah.
and I don't just in
Abusers in
general
general.
count on the
Yeah.
fact
Yeah.
that if they hide it
Yes.
and keep doing it,
Yes. That's why they separate you from your family and all that stuff and your friends and stuff like that. They want to get you alone. So that they're the only option.
and so literally we're watching in court now as we're hearing the part of, yeah, he was just wanted to hang out with old men and play guitar and
Dude,
stuff.
the old
So
men.
wait a minute. The suggestion is that the reality is he's not allowed to have friends and go do things.
Yes.
Now let's talk about which old men.
The old men she's talking about are people like Alice Cooper and Keith Richards.
Yeah,
Dude, they're like rock stars, man. They're like
the greatest guitarists of all time are hanging
exactly.
out with him because they like the way Johnny plays guitar.
Exactly.
Johnny literally plays guitar with those guys.
He goes on tour and stuff. Like he's a musician as a like in addition to all of the acting and stuff, like all the amazing acting and stuff he does.
If there's somebody out there that could get me a conversation with Mr. Depp, A, I would not ask anything about what's currently going on.
Yeah.
B, wouldn't even ask so much about his career. I'm interested in him as a human.
Mm.
That So he's always struggled with this limelight thing.
Mhm.
He's never been comfortable with it.
Right.
He's not one of those.
Right.
I think if anything, Leo learned from him that you might as well embrace it because it's
Right.
going to be screwed up no matter what.
Right.
So you might as well treat all of the ladies like a gentleman.
Right.
Tell them you're not looking for a commitment.
Yep.
Remind them you're Leonardo DiCaprio and keep moving through it.
Dude,
Because otherwise, grumpy.
when I discovered What's Eating at Gilbert Grape, I was like, dude, this is my favorite movie. It's got Jack Sparrow and freaking the guy from Catch Me If You Can, man.
He plays more of a Titanic role, I think. But
Well,
okay.
I hadn't seen Titanic at
Which
that point.
character do
So,
you think most is
which character do I think he's most like in Gilbert
actually
Grape?
there's a movie called something like The Island or something like that that's
Uh-huh.
about marijuana in Thailand and
Uh-huh.
for there's a scene where he's found some really good stuff
Mm.
and he's running around the island like he thinks he's in a video game and they're
Right.
playing it and numbers are popping up.
Yeah, I was really surprised that What's Eating at Gilbert Grape didn't get like
It did.
any.
No, it did.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay. It
no,
did?
she won an
Okay.
award.
Who did?
No, I think she got an award. I think the mother won it too.
The mother won
But
an
no,
award?
no, it got all kinds of
Man,
acclaim.
Leo should have won something.
It
But
all just
anyways.
well, Leo's won lots of. Trust me, he's well loved.
Yeah.
Leo doesn't need to worry about whether or not he's loved at this. I don't even think
I
he's
guess
met.
I guess I just meant that specific movie really like
He's known for it. No,
I
no,
really love that movie. I loved Johnny in it. I
you
love
just weren't here for when it was a
DiCaprio in
big
it.
deal. So in your head, they didn't make a big deal when it came out, but that was just
Okay.
because you. They did. I was here. They did.
Okay.
Don't
Cool.
worry, they did.
Cool. Good.
It's
Good.
considered one
It
of those
needed to be a
movies.
good. It needed to be a big deal.
We appreciate
It's a
that.
good
Thank
movie.
you.
Yeah.
Without your yes, it's considered a great movie.
That's good.
And my point is, so there are so many different ways of struggling with relationships. And we're all like, oh, gosh, if I just had that or that, it would be easy. Doesn't appear to be. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
in some pretty crazy relationships, and grumpy on the bed hasn't happened. For those not paying attention, yes, there's a giant picture of Grumpy between us. Yes, Grumpy the dwarf. not
Yeah.
not Grumpy the Turd.
No.
His hat does look rather brown turdy, but and it's because there isn't enough discussion about the fact, reality and their side can be crazy enough to own in the middle while they hailed him.
I was looking up a thing. Leave me alone. God. I was still listening.
How's Seth doing?
I
You
haven't
were
texted
typing.
him. I wasn't typing. Dang it.
Dang it.
No, I'm just joking. I wasn't typing though.
But do you get what I'm saying? That in relationship, talk about it like put all of this responsibility on men separately, as opposed to holding both sides equally responsible.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to always think of it as the if by some chance,
Mhm.
I don't mean in the sense that bad things don't happen. I want bad things dealt with. But in the what if if there's a situation where both people are old enough to drink,
Mhm.
both people are drunk,
Mhm.
both people consent while drunk, changes her mind the next day and says it's rape. Why can't he countersue? Why can't he press charges as well? Because he was drunk too. He
Well,
couldn't consent.
the thing is,
Why?
like,
But do you follow me?
I really don't know. Like, I don't know because it seems to me like if two people are drunk and they both make a decision collectively, I think we can maybe write off that decision. I don't know.
But
Like,
that's
I don't
not.
know.
But that's
But
not
there's also the case of like sometimes things like that happen when people are
right.
drunk and stuff and like
We crossed a line and now I
right
regret it.
sometimes exactly yeah it's a very tough like
And this is in no
yeah
means a comment on cases that are not like this. This is
right
not saying that in some case where some guy or some gal did something real crazy, drugged some. I'm
right
not that. So where's the line?
mhm
Where do beyond valuing men's sense of responsibility, we also value their humanity? I've been groped by women. Like
okay
I've had somebody grab my junk, but just move on.
right
Now,
it's a different
I don't think
thing
that's
right
appropriate, but I
right
think that the reality because okay, so you run into it and there's hot teacher, eighth or ninth grade taking advantage of
yeah
if the situation was first, our reaction
our
to
reaction is very
the
different
male teacher
yes
is taking advantage of 12 and 13.
right
Now, the reality is
the reaction to both should be equal because
equal.
they're both reprehensible like
So is it that the guys making the laws, guys,
mhm
in our lifetime, that's changed some,
mhm
but in our lifetime, in the
right
lifetime of our country, excuse me, not our lifetime, in the country's
yeah
history,
yeah I got you
the guys are like, well, yeah, but man, I wish my teacher had hit on me in eighth grade.
mm,
Now, they don't know what this person's actual experience was.
right
They don't know how it actually went
affected them
or
right
what grooming was there or whether or
right
not. So, how do you find a line where everybody gets to be themselves but also gets to feel safe? Because the reason all of us are hiding behind our masks,
mhm
the world's never going to believe you, Johnny.
I feel like
They're going to make fun of you. They're going to ridicule you. You better not tell anybody.
you gotta have the conversation, but you also gotta make sure the rules are equal for everyone. Because the rules can't be this person is allowed to do this, but this person is allowed to do this. It's gotta be these two people are allowed to do the same exact things.
Holding people all to a
Exactly.
standard as
Holding
opposed
everyone
to
to a standard as opposed to certain people are allowed to get away with certain things.
right.
And the reason that I'm really glad that this whole I'm not I guess I'm not glad that the situation is happening, but I'm glad that it's at least being broadcast and people are talking about it and it's
Right.
at least like in the limelight. I'm glad for that because like it's not fair that this happens to people.
Yeah.
And like this exact situation that Johnny's in happens to like countless men.
I literally
It happens
immediately
to a
gave a
lot of
story.
people.
I've given a story about two things that if I was a woman would immediately result in, or could result, you could press charges.
Right.
But that where I'm telling you that in situations where a man and a woman are fighting, if there are children in the home,
Mhm.
if the police are brought there, the man will
Mhm.
be asked to leave,
Mm.
even if she was hitting him. Well,
Well,
okay, that was my experience in the
here's the
90s. They said, you got to go then because
mhm.
we don't want you guys fighting.
Mhm.
And so you're the bigger person, go.
Well, people constantly ask, "Why don't you leave?" You see what happened when Johnny left.
She
I
didn't like,
mean,
okay,
you
he's
see what
gone.
happened when he left. Like not even just like he tried from the court
From what
documents and
you've
everything,
read,
from what
right,
I've seen, he tried to leave it as amicably as possible. He tried to separate, make the separation as clean as possible.
right.
And then she was like, "No, I'm not letting you get out unscathed." And
That's when all the op-eds and stuff start,
exactly.
and
And
that's
it's
when
and I get that okay, it's not about Johnny, but come on now. Let's come on now. You're talking about a relationship that happened a couple years ago. That's we know which relationship you were in a couple years ago. You're a famous person. Come on now. Let's be
this
serious.
was
Like
this
let's
was
be
about a
honest.
court reference to that was because stuff was, I think, wasn't that during the British court case that the op-ed comes out in the United States?
I think it's before the British court case that the op-ed comes out. I think the op-ed comes out and then he sues
Oh, oh, that makes
in the
sense. Okay, I
UK
follow you.
and then he sues in Virginia.
Well, he almost loses his finger.
Exactly.
They keep saying severed. It didn't really come off though, did it?
I think
Did they
part
put a
of his
finger?
finger got cut off or something. I don't know if they ever put it back. Like I don't know what happened exactly with that.
I've been watching. It looks like all his fingers.
Yeah, I didn't pay too much
I
attention to that.
like,
But
where's the picture I had up? And I think there's five, I
but
think there's five on each. Can't play his guitar. I mean, he's got to have his fingers. What the hell? And that's probably what hit him the most.
mm,
That because I think he loves acting. Don't get me wrong,
mhm.
but I think that he loves being able to do the thing where he is creative without having the world to have to watch.
Yeah.
I think that the music thing's really important to him.
I think
That there's another level on cutting that finger
I
off.
think that this situation has also brought a lot of attention that he doesn't really want.
No,
Like
well,
he was talking about his experience and he was talking about like the looks start to change that people give you
right?
and the phone calls start to stop coming in from producers and from friends and from like
Because there are friends that write you off.
exactly
There are
and they
friends that weren't as close that don't know the
they
reality,
don't
and
go
so
to
they're
you
like, "Oh
directly and
shit."
they're like, "You know what? I need to separate myself from this person."
They don't come to him and
They don't
ask, and that's
exactly.
when you know they're not real friends. When
What
they take an
yeah.
accusation like that, and instead of going, "Wait a minute, I know this guy.
That's why I
This
say
doesn't fit."
shouts out to Dior for sticking with Johnny, man. Shouts out to
No, it's
Dior.
all for Vision.
Huh? It's all for what do you
It's
mean?
all Vision all day long. Nobody can question Vision's.
You can't
Yeah,
question Vision's
you
judgment,
can't
dude.
question Vision's judgment.
Come on now, it's
I mean,
Vision.
first he was a great computer, and then he was. I mean, come on, dear God, important.
He gave Russell Crowe some ideas in Beautiful Mind. He gave him some ideas.
Good as Chaucer too.
Yeah.
Not as the real. We're way off the.
It's
The
okay.
reality is, it is interesting because it's been I fell more in love with Johnny with his list of witnesses.
Really?
No, because they're all people that artistically I like. You're like, oh damn, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging out with Stanhope. Hell yeah.
Right? That's a good crowd right there, you know?
You know that I would love to talk. So haven't seen music that appeared yesterday, and there was another show that nobody watched, and there was actually that's not true.
That's not true. A
Joy's
couple of
daughter
people
watched.
watched it. Yeah.
So last night, following these month of behind the Dum dum dum.
Behind the story.
Well, that trying to raise money, a year's worth of shows.
Yes. Keep going.
See, hear other people
Yeah.
that just like today, talking about Johnny having a different experience that we immediately think than the one we immediately think of.
Right.
We're looking to all over the world about their experience, about the things they've come up.
Right.
And I one of the people I talked to is well traveled, studied, amazing. You know, she fun interview.
Right.
Um, that goal isn't to go tell me about your job, tell me about this experience.
Right.
For the get a chance. Catch last night's show with Joy. We did 10 questions.
Yes.
For those of
10,
you
10 of
that have
those.
Facebook, probably seen advertising. Very simple being a person questions.
Mhm.
You know, I always like the first one. I love where are you from? It sounds like such a it's simple question,
Mhm.
but can end up defining yourself. You know, Joy's answer was a million places, which is kind of a defining answer.
Yeah.
I'm from everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, some people it may be relative to or experience.
Right.
You know, Joy told us about where she was because then we always burpy McBurpster today. Sorry guys, I need that button so I don't just burp in your ear. Um, I always am interested in finding out about people's memories.
Yeah.
I think that
First
it
memories are important.
well, yeah, I think that it's interesting. A, I always find it interesting where
Right.
people give me answers usually from 3 to 6.
Right.
That usually somewhere in that gap.
Somewhere in between, yeah.
You remembered something from 17. Italy, it was only 2 years ago, but we took
Oh
that
my
as.
god. Man. Think I was like 5.
I know. I'm just.
Yeah.
Um. So as we bring more, goal is those simple questions really are the questions that
Yeah.
everybody goes, oh damn.
Everybody's got an answer for the thing.
You know, work, play, pray. How do you do it? And now people get kind of confused. Pray, like, oh, I thought you were. I mean, how do you commune? What makes you feel
At peace?
at peace? Yeah, that it's an atheist is going to get on the show and be like, pray. I don't pray, and I'll be like, okay, okay, wait a minute.
What I mean is,
How do you where do you find your center?
yeah.
Center can be anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, but it's a goal is as simple as those questions are. A, even if what it starts the conversation about I don't pray,
Right. Right.
it still starts that conversation too.
Right.
Um, then I ended up, what do you know and what don't you know?
What?
What's something you know what I mean?
Right.
There's something like, yeah, all have those feelings. Like, what do you know and what don't you know? Those are the two things we obsess over the most.
Yeah, usually. Those are the two things you constantly find yourself retooling or rekindling in your brain is reassessing what do you actually know and what do you want to know?
Right.
What do you want to learn more about?
It was so interesting listening to Joy's answers because the nice thing about these kind of questions is they're wide open.
Right.
So you'll ask a question and you literally can't be attached to thinking you're going to get an answer
Right.
because
Cuz you don't have any type of clue what kind of answer they'll give you. You might get a couple similar answers, but you're never going to get the same answer twice.
well, you're right. What do you love? What do you fear?
Right.
That's a wide open net.
I fear grumpies. Anyways.
Exactly. That one of the interesting things that's happened Johnny for the first time.
I think so. I think so.
Very man that wanted his solitude.
Yeah.
And what he does for a living doesn't allow that
Right.
very well. That and pushed out in front, so his
Right.
mask torn off.
Right.
And here, as opposed to masks, our goal is to
Mhm.
get no seam
Right.
because in each other we see each other, we see ourselves,
Right.
as opposed to trying to live up Facebook Joneses,
Right.
where what you get is best life,
Mhm.
people all over the world wishing they were Johnny Depp, not knowing what he was going
Mm.
because they didn't know him,
Right.
didn't see him, thought they saw him,
Right.
thought he was an egg, ended
Mm.
up he was a cannon.
Okay, a cannon? Thought he was an egg, ended up he was a cannon.
It, it's the
Yeah.
Humpty thing all over again. Your
I get what you mean.
perspective of what other people are going through, whether they're as far away as Johnny Depp or across the we own much, the less genuine a person is themselves to some extent. I don't mean that kind of ego way, but I mean in the sense of dealing with your own shit too.
Right.
Um, that possible.
Right.
The more,
Right.
and I'm running a nonprofit whose motto other than hey, have you met my friend?
Right.
That the idea is, friend, that eventually, you ever met Bob?
Who's Bob?
Bob's this guy that everybody knows. Everybody in the entire world knows Bob. Bob's just one of those guys,
Okay.
And I knew Bob pretty well. And, I ask him anyway. He's, oh, yeah, yeah, I know him. Eventually, you're like, this is like, I was trying to remember. I think it was Elton John and Billy Joel.
Okay.
And I'm like, Bob, this is a test.
Yeah.
There's no way you know Elton John and Billy Joel.
Right.
He goes, well, are you going to the concert? I'm like, well, yeah, yeah, I'm going. He goes, well, halfway through the concert, there's Bob on stage.
Wait, what?
Bob's on stage with Billy Joel and Elton John.
Okay.
I mean, he's not playing music, but he's there,
He's
and he's
there,
like,
right? He's yeah,
hey,
yeah,
shaking hands with
I got
Billy
you.
and Elton, and they're
Yeah,
walking over to their pianos. I'm like, Bob.
yeah.
But okay. Bob says he knows a lot of people.
Right.
He pulled that off. Maybe he knew somebody that knew somebody.
Right. 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 Right.
And I forget if it was the election or the re-election. But you know how we're in Columbus.
Right.
For those of you that don't. So all of the presidential candidates come through here.
Right.
So I'm
Eventually, yeah.
thinking here's a bigger play because the reality is if he can get on stage with Obama, that means he has to make it past Secret Service.
Right.
Elton and
Which means he knows them direct.
okay, he's
Yeah,
got right.
exactly.
He's got to get.
He's
They
got
have to
some
go.
kind of
Yeah, no, let
connection to.
Bob
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah,
Like Bob, cool.
yeah.
So you're watching as Obama's giving the speech, and Bob's got his hand on Obama's shoulder behind him, like, "Yep, I'm here supporting you." And you're like, so finally, there's no way. The Pope literally comes from South America and has gone.
I didn't know the Pope leaves Vatican City.
No, the Pope was okay. They start off as a priest somewhere.
Okay.
He was in South America working with the poor, and
Oh,
then he
okay.
was chosen archbishop, and then he gets
Then he
chosen
gets
as the
chosen for yeah.
papal duties, right?
Right.
The smokestack and the gray smoke and the white smoke and the black smoke and
Got
the
you.
smoke and a stack, and they tell you whether or not they've decided on a pope yet. But this guy, Pop's like, yeah, I know him.
Okay.
What I'll do, I, I'm actually getting ready to go. Good guy. I'm
Uh-huh.
getting ready to go to Rome.
Okay.
All you have to do is they do COVID. They do. There's a square in front of the papal residence.
Yeah.
He comes out, waves,
I've heard of that, yeah.
gives his.
Right.
There I'm standing in the crowd. American tourist next to me.
Uh-huh.
Out walks Bob and the Pope.
Okay.
You know what really got me though?
What got you?
Dude next to me goes, "Who's that with Bob?" Those of you that don't know, I've never been to Rome, but the Elton John Billy Joel concert was good. Bob was not there. Bob was not there. But the point is,
I was waiting for that.
if we all know each other,
Uh-huh.
we're not that many steps away from anybody.
Right.
Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah,
You know, the separation is smaller than
that's true.
we constantly walk around going, "Gosh, it's a small world." You run into somebody from somewhere and you're like, "That's amazing. I'm just dumbfounded. I'm overwhelmed." But what if we made a point? What if this little game we play in the month of May and God willing and the money comes through? Play for the next
Yeah.
year is, have you met my friend?
Right.
I haven't met your friend.
Right.
So I'm asking you,
Have I
them,
met my wait,
out
you're
there,
asking them, have you met my friends or have I met which way?
that they're going, that I need them to go, have you met my friends?
Oh, okay.
I need to go, you know what? There's this one guy with this story.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be. If
If
there's a
it's a
story out
non-famous dude,
there,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you're
exactly.
like going, I wish somebody would talk to this.
Right.
You're wrong. I'm going to be honest. I talk to him.
Yeah.
So careful who you set up.
Their story kind of sucks. No, I'm just playing.
No.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking, man.
Well, but and there are short stories and long
All
stories
stories are valid, man.
that starter come. One of the things that happens is bigger donation or have us interviews and have somebody you'd like us to interview that direct. You start to have some some bits and pieces of being a part of the show,
Mhm.
bringing new voices, helping, and then we have that December to finish those
Right.
projects with people.
Right.
With the idea being, so one of the things the is there are people whose stories we will lose,
Right.
you know, and I'll talk to anybody. Think about that. As you look at the 10, think about about other people's answers, about your friends' answers.
Yeah.
That one crazy friend that
Right.
literally right now, Geo's email, phone number, crossing the world,
Right.
going somewhere. I don't know. It's doing something. The reality, I couldn't. What was the one? I couldn't WhatsApp or IG or something in
Yeah, you couldn't
somewhere
connect
because of
it.
something.
Something because of something.
That there was an EU thing versus an India. That there's some different.
I don't even know, man.
I do, and I still don't know.
I do, and I still don't know.
Well,
That's
that I
yeah.
have friends all over the world. I'd like to be able to bring them all access. Boom,
Mm.
chicka, bow, bow. But so you have to decide how things are going out.
Right.
Did a couple things
Right.
haven't aired behind the story. I thought that was a fun episode. I thought that worked out to 45 minutes of good talk.
I think so. Mm-mm-mm.
You know what? I love it when a plan comes together.
Mhm.
That I feel like, right? I
I
love
love
it
it
when a
when a
plan
plan
comes
comes to.
together.
Yeah.
Er, well, it this very much show 76,
Mhm.
post 75, as they say. They don't. The ability to bring a show like May the Turd Not Be Forgotten is about seeing somebody that and about talking about people no one's used people in general. Not going to stick with Not gonna make this go on. Reality is, everyone should out if they're
I think so.
beyond just
Mhm.
a grumpy in your bed. The reality is, this man almost lost his finger. About a giant vodka bottle that hit him in the nose.
Yeah, there was some stuff. She threw a paint can at him or something.
It's like she
Yes.
sends off to Acme for the weirdest thing to throw at somebody.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very like, and then I grabbed. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. One of the things I keep looking at is the fact that he's able to like vividly describe how events happen, which makes me think that they happened.
Well, I think his ability, a well-spoken man,
He is.
always come across to me as if he's well-spoken and from the heart. The telling tale.
Mm.
I wish we. I would have put Winona's name in a heartbeat. Winona Ryder, crazy lady, beautiful to this day. I would have got that tattoo. And I had never met her. I would have gotten the tattoo.
I would have gotten
If
a
Johnny
tattoo.
had sent
I
me the
didn't even
money
need to.
while he was with Winona and said, "Here's your money to get your matching Winona Forever tattoo,"
You would have
I
you'd have
would
been
have
like, I'm
been there.
down,
No,
down,
you're
man.
wrong. I would have got a Sinead Forever one on the other arm. That didn't turn out as well. I love you, Sinead. And I'm sorry for your losses. You've been through some hard stuff too. And Winona. But that tattoo,
Yeah.
the dumbest friggin' tattoo any guy will ever get.
What?
A girl's name forever on your arm.
Yeah, true. True, true.
At that age, I could have.
Especially if you put
But
forever
no, the
at,
age that it
somewhere
was
around it.
no, the age he did it was perfect, and told you that
Okay.
his heart was literally on his sleeve.
Uh-huh.
This was who
Quite
he
literally.
was. That he's genuine and heart
Right.
and because it wasn't even a great tattoo, but that you could always see some of that from him.
Right.
You know what? Tim Burton's sense of whimsy that you see that they connect on
Yeah.
brings us again to one of the loves of my life.
Right.
What is Tim Burton's wife's name?
Oh,
Da 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 da
jeez.
da. There's
Oh,
three of them.
jeez. There's three of them?
Three names. She was in Harry Potter. Helena
Oh, I know
Bonham
Helen Bonham
Carter,
Carter. Yeah, 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 yeah.
who
Yeah.
also made my '80s list
Oh
of the
my
most
gosh.
beautiful.
Yes.
I don't. You know what? I've suddenly realized my love of Johnny Depp and Tim Burton is that we're attracted to the same crazy ass women. You know, God, bro, I am so sorry for what happened with.
It's pretty. It's pretty not
The
not
reality
nice.
is, brother, I joke because I feel your man.
Nope.
Namastained.
Hey
Dude,
man.
I can see them bruises on your soul. Man, I can honor that struggle.
His demeanor in court is very like they're watching the two of them the way that they act is very interesting as well. Cuz
Seems exposed.
he seems like he's very very out of his comfort zone, but he feels like he has to do this
And she
because
feel it,
and
it's like watching a
she
woman with a
almost
mask
yeah,
on.
like yeah, she's like staring people down and like staring at Johnny and stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm like
Why?
I just look at it and I'm like that's not behavior of a victim. I don't know, man.
Well,
I
no,
don't know,
it's
man.
not even that. I won't even go so far as go. I can look into their heads and see.
Mm,
Okay, I'm not gonna try and judge. I'm not there, but obviously, go today. You always
yes.
um that man. I don't know what's going on in there, and I feel it's gonna sound weird.
Mm,
That woman is in pain.
that's true. That much is very true. Yeah.
That woman is desperately trying to hold her composure and is I
That much
I
is
would
true,
not
yeah.
want to be in that head.
No, me neither.
That you know what, as much as I fully support Johnny in coming forward and defending himself, etc., all of that.
Right. I don't
I have
envy
trouble not seeing the pain in other humans, and oh my god, she is imploding
I don't
before our
envy
eyes.
I don't envy either of their positions. And I don't want anyone to think that, because it doesn't look like a fun situation on either sides.
I lowered my opinion of James Franco and Elon Musk.
You did. Think because of the situation?
They seem like easy targets for a pretty girl to me now.
I mean,
She seems pretty transparent, and it
I'm waiting to see what they say. I'm waiting to see how it goes.
are they on the list?
Yeah, they're
Is
on the
that
list. They're gonna be
no,
there
no,
at
they
some
don't.
point.
They don't have to call them. You can put extra
Oh, okay,
people
you
on the
can put
list.
people on the list but not call them
That may have been a reaction to the
to
people
him.
on
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah,
list.
right, right.
Or it may be that James Franco is going to come in and go, "Yeah, I railed her." I don't understand because the only reason I could come up for those guys being on the list was she dated both of them briefly after
Yeah,
this, and
yeah.
how that's pertinent, I don't.
Plus, there's the idea that she might have cheated with one of them, which is like, I don't know why you would add that to the list of.
I don't even know why I would care at this point.
I don't,
I don't. As much as
I don't know
okay,
why you'd
that
add that
sounds
to
like
the list.
relationship problems. She
What I'm saying is that doesn't really sound like it helps her
she
case,
took
just
a
from an
well. My
outside
my
looking
point is,
perspective, I guess.
okay, I can agree that you guys maybe cheated on each other.
Yeah.
So it sounds like I don't know. Did Johnny cheat on
I
her?
don't know. I don't know.
It would have come up.
It would have come up. I think so.
So if she could prove he cheated, I suspect I would have heard it.
I suspect we would have heard it by now. Yes.
But either way, that sounds like okay inside your relationship.
Right.
Okay, shitting on the bed is still inside the bird, but I wouldn't guess
I
that.
mean, this
But
whole situation is inside your relationship. And
no, there's an abusive part that goes like I'm
okay, there's
telling
an
you
abusive part that you feel goes beyond that.
that even as disgusting as crapping in the bed was, it's not as bad as throwing like paint cans at you know what I mean?
Right,
That
right, right.
I'm more okay. So this is a over here's the more disgusting behavior that does less damage, though it's
Okay.
psychological damage. It does damage. Crap in the middle of somebody's bed. That's why the cat does it to me. You know?
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah, it's mad.
Cat good, cat don't poop. They say something about where Amber's at, but again, I hate. But
You have to follow
the
it with a turd.
reality is, part is the case is really and about defamation,
Right.
but most startling, it's not that Cosby was a hypocrite. It's that yeah, I get that she defamed him.
Right.
What has me the most upset is the
Right.
that yeah, man. The worst part about it was it, man. What a hypocrite Bill Cosby was.
Well, it's
Nah.
crazy.
Norm Macdonald, you gotta love him. Nah. Pretty sure it was the raping. Pretty sure. Same thing. That yeah, we're dealing with this defamation case,
Right.
but what's got me by the gut is the guy that has a woman looking at him, abusing him, and literally going, "No one will ever believe."
Well,
Bill
I
Murraying
always
people on abuse is not acceptable.
I
French
look I
fries,
look at
maybe.
the situation and I'm mortified by the fact that someone could be the abuser and then accuse the victim of abuse. Just that as a situation has me upset.
And it's something we have to fix
Yeah.
because men don't feel comfortable going forward. I was at a job once,
Mm.
and it was my first day on the job, my first hour on the job, and 8 women started taking their clothes off. Admittedly, I was a stripper and I was taking mine off, but it was still inappropriate behavior in the workplace.
Shut up. Shut up.
I was harassed.
I was
HER space ASSE. I was harassed. But I joke because that's the easiest way to deal with it.
Mm.
Point is, there are extreme situations in the place that people do all the time. Making light of sex worker days is not really the point. The point is, we have to figure out a way where people.
I think that domestic violence is a problem, and violence between people in general is a problem that we need to figure out how to solve. There shouldn't be men hitting women, there shouldn't be women hitting men, there shouldn't be anyone hitting anyone. Keep your hands to yourself, please.
Note to
Like,
Vladimir Putin. But
I mean,
anyways,
the thing that constantly, like, keeps me like the thing that keeps me like in a good space
Mhm.
is that we've never ever thought it was reasonable to put hands on one another.
Oh God, no.
Neither one of us has ever thought that that was
No,
the
no.
answer.
That
It
we
doesn't it
we
doesn't
speak
come up as
loudly and with
we,
great force.
I
Okay.
mean, we
Okay, so
we
I speak
argue at
loudly
each other.
with great force. Speak silently with great force.
We
I don't know how
argue
to explain it.
we argue at each other,
Yes.
and we have a whole bunch of things that maybe we cross lines with each other. Yes.
And that was my argument with January 6th.
Right.
That the
Okay.
biggest difference was
Okay.
I don't mind people disagreeing.
Right.
People should fight
Right.
for what they believe in.
Right.
See this part? This is where
Right.
the fighting, writing, and what scared me about January 6th wasn't about the who.
Mm.
It was about the idea that it was put on the table
Mm.
that that was a means of solution.
Right.
If in the first act
Right.
you show a loaded gun, in the second act
The
the
gun
gun
must
must
go
fly
off.
off. Yes,
Right.
exactly. Well, but so you put the gun in the room.
Right.
That's the part that worries me.
Right.
That when you
Once you put it on the table, it's yeah.
someone's gonna use it.
Right. Right. At some point, it's gonna be violence is never an option. It shouldn't be ever
If
because there's nothing you can solve with violence.
well,
I,
if
in
you
my
want to
opinion,
see
there's
the
nothing you can solve
scariest
in
part
violence.
about the
You know?
European situation,
Okay.
the Russian war on Ukraine. Note,
Right.
I always say the Russian war on Ukraine, not the Ukrainian war, not the Russia-Ukraine war. This is the Russian war on Ukraine.
Right.
That go look at the tables
Mm.
and what's on them.
Right.
Beyond what's happening right now, I am most worried about what's on the tables.
Right.
Now, admittedly, that's a manipulation that using.
Yeah. He's
That it's
using the fact that people are so scared of what he will do
what he the
or what he
possibilities.
could do. Exactly, what he could do.
I will say time and again, and I hope I'm wrong. I don't think it's got anything to do with Ukraine.
Mhm.
And I think as I'm watching a larger, so as they push them more and more the direction of Ukraine,
Mhm.
that as more and more forces are brought that direction,
Right.
I don't know what henhouse I'm supposed to be watching, but I know it's not guarded right now, and what
That's what concerns you.
that's what Russia and China are watching. It's
Right.
a henhouse that we're not watching.
Right.
None of this makes. If Russia wanted to win the war on Ukraine,
Right.
they wouldn't do it this way.
Hey, look at this hand. Ah, I got this one. Surprise.
So
Just waiting for the
when
other
I
shoe to
look
drop.
around the world, I'm trying to change what people have on their table
Mm.
because it looks more and more like in the range of possibility that what we'll be doing is picking up the pieces opposed to moving we're at right
Mm.
now. I don't like to negative. I like to go, hey, but man, when you look at all of these situations, it is hard not want to go take a grumpy on somebody's bed. Like something meaningful.
Can I can I get a volunteer to go take a grumpy on Putin's bed, please?
Oh, you know
Someone
what? That would be funny. If we
can
could get a
someone do
picture of a
that,
grumpy on
please?
Putin's bed or whatever. I don't know what they do to you in Russia
But I
for
I was gonna say I don't know what
grumpy
they
and grumpy in the czar's bed,
I
but
think I think the consequences might be kind of high for that person, but
you know what? If you could get in and out, would they
if you
DNA
could
test?
get in and out, I think they DNA tested the grumpy. Yeah, I think they DNA tested you.
What was? How did they prove that it was? Because at one point, didn't she claim it was the dogs?
I have no clue,
Didn't she
man.
claim like some small dog left that grumpy?
I think she did. I
Okay,
don't
so
know.
how did they prove?
I read something
Was
that
there a
she said it
photo
was a
of the
practical
grumpy?
joke gone wrong, and I was like, "What, dude? What? What are you talking about? Like, what?"
Yay, poop. I've got some kids that would love it.
I sure, probably, yeah.
Well, listen, don't be grumpy today. It's episode 76. Johnny, we love you. We support you. Everybody, you know what? If you're in an abusive relationship, please try to get help. You know what? If you're looking for CBDs, please try to get down to Tobacco Land, corner of Agler and Stigler, Gahanna, Ohio.
Agler and Stigler
Yeah, behind the Speedway.
behind the speedway.
You like this little mall,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Tobacco
yeah,
Land.
yeah, yeah.
Tell Sam we said hi.
It's really nice.
They alternative smoke products. They've just got an amazing range,
Yes.
and all of the tobacco products you need and a humidor. But I try not to promote. I try not to. Yeah, I don't promote the tobacco bit. But hey, I will here shortly as soon as we're off the air. I promise.
You guys have a good one, man.
13 acres is the farm living hospitality.